Players who are deciding to take a closer look at Commander Masters for 2023 should also be taking a look at what happened in Double Masters 2022. In today's video, we'll go over some of the pricing and what happened in the marketplace that caused a lot of these cards to fall down and for a lot of players to lose money. So before you go out there and spend big bucks, it's probably best that you watch this video. If you want to avoid your fate being sealed, you have to know where you're going. And to do that, you have to know where you've been. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on the channel today. Now, with Commander Masters up and coming before you know it, a lot of players, and I've heard all the rumors about there could be all kinds of crazy stuff inside the set, and who knows what Wizards of the Coast has done to spice this up. But either way, we do know facts that it's a reprint set. So you can look at previous reprint sets to know where you're going, using MTG Finance not as a speculative tool to try to generate income for yourselves, instead using it to minimize your losses when buying cards, maximizing your playing potential by using your money to the best of your ability, and also avoiding massive tragic losses. And this is something I want to talk about because it hits close to home, and a lot of people forget that I buy Magic cards like everybody else. For those who've been on my channel for a while, you're going to recognize this card. Some of you will not. I'm going to explain. Yeah. Double Masters 2022, about 12 months ago, and I got myself this beautiful Imperial Seal. I was so excited. When they showed this card in the spoilers, it blew my mind because I wanted one, and they were like, you know, $1,200, super expensive. This one here, I paid $250 Canadian all in to get this card. I bought it at pre-release. I was super excited. And everyone, even people on this channel, reminded me, don't buy it, man. This thing's going to tank. But I bought it anyway. FOMO can grip anyone, including myself. And I had to have it. But if I had waited the 12 months and bought it now, it's $79 US. $100 Canadian. I could have saved almost 70% of the price just by waiting 12 months. And that's what we're talking about at products like this. When you look at a reprint product, and remember, Double Masters 2022 had the incredible textured foils that drove everyone insane looking at the amazing artwork, but it's still just a flash in the pan. It's still something cool to look at. The card underneath is the exact same writing. When we saw these things come out, ooh, shake it, it still feels good. When we saw these come out, most of you recall that these things came in packs of 4, and they're here in Canada, they were like $459, $469 Canadian, depending on where you were buying. Do you know how much this goes for now? You probably cheated, paused my video and looked it up. $2.99 Canadian. So you'd save over 50% almost of the value, 40-something%, depending on what store you're shopping at, just by waiting 1 year. Because reprint products go down in value and sit on store shelves. They cannot self-perpetuate the value because no one knows what's getting reprinted. Bad management, we've talked about this. So when you look at these products and you look at these amazing cards, all you have to do is when you're looking at a new product set like Commander Masters, other than the new cards they're adding for those Commander decks, some of those will be like miscellaneous bonus cards. If you look at this product and look at the set, take a look at all the cards. Look at the Mythics. You're going to see a couple of cards that are higher priced still, like Imperial Seal. Dockside Extortionist is like 60 bucks or whatever it is. I didn't look recently, but it's around the $40 to $60 mark. And then the only rare value is the Force of Negation, I believe. Okay, everything else is like under 15 bucks. When you add those up, and you can't get all those in one box, it's not going to happen generally speaking, there's no way to get your value out. So it's still better to always buy the single. Right? You should have done that for Double Masters 2022, and you probably would have saved yourself a heap of cash. Now, we can take that information from MTG Finance, the reviews of a year, correlate these things out, and you can see whatever cards they start spoiling. You can try to follow those cards along to a card of value that already exists, that got reprinted in a set like Double Masters 2022, Ultimate Masters. Look at some of the flash in the pan gimmicks, like the first box toppers, things like that, because they will add something to try to spice this up probably. I've heard the rumors and the speculation. It doesn't affect what the card actually does, though. It doesn't affect, other than the artwork and the aesthetic appeal that players look at. As a reprint set, you can look at past history to get the future results of roughly where things will go based on how hard they make these cards to get. If they put in Mana Crypt, we already know it's been creeping up. Another good printing, though, is going to bring Mana Crypt down to around the 125, 130 mark Canadian. It's going to bring it right down. It's unavoidable because there's still them sitting on shelves right now inside your local LGS. Players just don't want to pay the high price. They're hoping the price tanks, making the cards more affordable. Because that's what these sets are designed to do. To lower the IP value, making it more affordable for players. But it comes at a cost of anyone who bites on FOMO and purchases ahead of time at pre-release or opens packs or just dives in. When you do it that way, generally speaking, and from first-hand experience, you are setting yourself up for a massive loss. Yes, you do get to enjoy the card early. You don't have to wait that whole year to get it. But for anyone with a little bit of patience, a little bit of time, you will save potentially thousands of dollars over the course of a couple of years by just tracking the cards you really want to have, seeing if they get reprinted, and then buying anywhere from 9 to 12 months later, as low as 6 in some cases, depending on how much you want to take as a loss. Because we know now from tracking all of these reprint sets going all the way back to Modern Masters, they're all sitting on shelves. Cards like Tarmogoyf aren't worth anything anymore because they've been hammered and beaten down. It's interesting to watch this stuff unfold and understand that a company like Wizards of the Coast, they have as many levers as they want to pull. But when it comes to reprint sets, because of how they've chosen to print, these levers are very limited. They reprint reprints too often. They're not giving enough space because they're trying to generate revenue. Now that comes as a bonus for any player who wants to save money, and for anybody who's actually just trying to afford the cards at a cheaper price than what they're at now. Bonus for you guys, you're going to win. But for any player out there who just can't wait, you're always going to take a loss just like I did. The cost of not waiting is somewhere around 50 to 60%. And then the next reprinting will bring those losses even higher. Going in and understanding human nature and how players and how their marketing team works to affect you, the player at home, before you even get to these events and before you even get to the product being released, it is all something to factor in if you're able to. Some people just have that gambler in them and they just got to crack packs and have a good time. Understandable. I'm going to crack some packs myself. I'll open some for some stores like 401. I will have a good time. I will still crack a few packs. But I'm not ever expecting to hit it big. It's great if you do. If you hit a lottery card, amazing. But you can't go in saying, oh, this is the pack. This is the one that's going to get me there, because it's not. It's not designed that way as a product to give you that actual chance. It's minuscule. It's like winning a mini lottery ticket. You're better just buying the actual single, looking for the card you desire. And that's what I find most fascinating now about MTG Finance is the further we get in and the further years that go by and the more data that's available, the more sales volumes you can look at. I can look at Double Masters 2022. Remember when it sold out and everyone was like, I remember Double Masters selling it. You're like, they all got restocked. They're all sitting in stores. They're all available. And they're cheaper than ever before because nobody's buying them. And when you know nobody's buying it and you still want to have that crack and appeal, you want to crack some packs later, if you wait a year, I just told you this thing went down to like $2.99 instead of like $4.59. You just got to wait a year. 1 year and look how much you can save. Right now we know those collector packs are $3.19 Canadian for Commander Masters collector packs, okay? 4 packs. All right. $75 a pack, very typical to last time, but that's before we see any of the spoilers. If they put some crazy spoilers in there, stores will jack up those prices. So you can see your orders canceled, rejected. Don't worry about it. Don't worry if your order gets rejected because a year from now, it's going to be on that shelf and you'll probably be able to buy it cheaper than what it is now and save yourself even more money with a little bit of patience and time because the history is right there for you to look at as a player. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to watch my channel. You could look it up yourself. You can check out the data and sales. You can go and see these things. If you know where to look, you can just go, that's crazy. I just waited 1 year. Here's the price it was in 2023 at release. Here are the pre-release prices of the cards. Here's the cards now a year later, and this is what they're at. It'll shock you. At least it should. It should. Some people don't care. They're going to buy what they want to buy. I understand that. But when you use MTG Finance to minimize losses and to maximize your playing potential and stretch your dollar to the fullest, you can stretch it pretty far just by waiting around. Those uncommons and commons that were like $8, $9 at pre-release, Also, when things drop down to $1 again, you can grab whole place. That's the stuff you've always wanted to have. Save yourself a bucket load of cash and fill out multiple decks with some of the filler cards you've always wanted to get your hands on, but didn't want to pay top dollar for. This is where we're headed. And more people aren't going to use MTG Finance as this speculative tool to generate revenue. Some guys will, but generally speaking, use it as a way to minimize your losses like I do, to make recommendations on cards that are at a good buy point, and you can save yourself money and time in the long run to enjoy the game, which is what we're here to do, to have fun. And yes, it's always great to have cards of value. And it's great that this thing is still worth money and there's great cards in there. But you know those reprints are coming around again. And no one has any faith in Wizards of the Coast delaying reprinting because they know the cash revenue has to keep being generated. And when you know that, when you know it's in the system that way and built that way, predictions like this are pretty easy to do. What are they going to do? They're going to add some artist signature cards into the set to spice you guys up. New alternate variations, surge foils with a twist of lime. It doesn't matter. The card underneath is the same. Always remember that. Enjoy new art, but always remember the base bones of that card are what matter. Thanks again, guys, for hanging out with me on the channel today. How do you guys feel about using MTG Finance this way? Using cards like this and old sets to predict what's going to happen in the future for many of these cards? And to cut your losses and come out ahead. Give me your best case scenario. I want to know, and you should be able to flex a bit if you save some cash. Guys, have a great one, and let's hope my losses this year on Commander Masters are not as bad, because I got to be honest, the Sliver deck and Eldrazi deck, it doesn't matter. I'm probably going to buy them. I can't help myself. It's going to be awesome. FOMO gets us all. Looking forward to seeing your guys' comments in the comments section. A big shout out and thank you, by the way. We're at the end of the video. Nobody's here now except for maybe the Necronomicon fans. But we're getting close. We've had a massive surge in some subscribers lately. Thank you so much, everyone who is hitting that subscribe button. It's so great to see us closing in on that 20,000 subscriber party. It is going to be epic. Thank you again, everyone, for being here and allowing me to entertain you and listening to my dog bark in the background because my wife just got home. Mrs. Mox is in the house. I can't help it. This is how it is, guys. You know, it's a busy life we live. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have an awesome day. You see, the Moxman dog, he knew to stop because this is the moment for all the patrons, for all the amazing people who support this channel. Thanks again, guys, for being here, for supporting the content of this channel each and every day. The patrons, the YouTube membership members, they're the ones who make this happen. Thanks, everyone. You guys remember, don't you? You remember. Some of you even warned me not to do it, and I couldn't help myself. I'm like, my precious. I had to have it now. Now it's in a deck. It does a great time, and I have a great time using it. But I still remember that now. I've taken that to heart. And a lot of the times this year, cards I've recommended and things I think are good deals are because of things like that happening that just reinforce the point of how to get ahead. By the way, thanks for being here at the end of the video. You guys know. You know there's something in the end credits, the ramble jamble time where we sit here and say, yeah, just plain talk, having a good time, and kicking it back. Dog barking at the end of the video. I can't edit that out. I'm not redoing the whole video. Do you know how many takes it takes to get this done? It's ridiculous. No. You guys will understand because you made it to the end. You're those types of people who make it to the end. You do understand. Anyway, we'll see what happens. But don't believe the hype. Remember that stuff, guys. It's great. It's awesome. But don't fall for that stuff. Remember singles. All right? All right, man. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.